What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Raidcall EMS Group B Spring Edition. And this is going to be a matchup between Kaipi and Navi. Navi, if you have not watched the previous game, got beaten by Absolute Legends quite convincingly, and they are on the verge of elimination. Kaipi, if they win this matchup, they advance. They get a guaranteed $2,000 and a spot in the LAN finals because the LAN finals do pay out to the top 8 no matter what. So Kaipi only one win away. All they have to do is beat down Navi, and they will make it through. Meanwhile, if they lose the matchup against Navi and beat Absolute Legends, they'll have the tiebreaker versus AL. It's going to be on time rating. Again, the group stages of this are a little bit muddled because of the time rating shenanigans. But Navi, if they win out, they're in because they have the tiebreaker over Kaipi, and they have to play Liquid, who is not really in contention, so their tiebreaker does not matter. So Kaipi have to be a bit concerned. If they lose this matchup, they have great risk of perhaps losing their spot. Meanwhile, Navi, again, picked a very, very untraditional Navi lineup, which we've seen from the new Navi roster. The new Navi roster with Funnick and Kuroki had been playing very aggressive, utilizing Funnick's aggressive nature, using Kuroki's great talent to make big plays all across the map. But the last game they played against Absolute Legends, they picked a PL Kotl lineup, which doesn't really suit them in my opinion. They got beaten by Absolute Legends in all aspects of the game, and Absolute Legends even had a better late game lineup in my opinion. So they're going to turn things around, turn it up a notch, because $2,000 for free just for moving on through the great group stages into the LAN finals is definitely something you don't really want to miss. So Kaipi gonna bat the Rubik, recognizing Kuroki's Rubik is perhaps the best in the Western scene at the moment. I think it is probably the best in the Western scene just because he makes so many big plays. Navi banging out the Barrett, Kaipi banging out the Wisp. And Wisp makes a lot of sense here, because the new Navi again likes to pick very aggressive, and Kaipi probably not too comfortable using Wisp against Navi, I'm not too sure. So they just feel like as a team, since Envy just joined them recently, they don't have the cohesion and synergy to really pull off a Wisp pick with their carry. I'm not too sure, but Navi gonna ban out the Phantom Monster, so Nyx and Keeper are left in the pool. And in terms of first picks, Nyx is usually valued higher over Keeper, though he can be a bit more versatile. He can lane a bit better, he can go mid, he can be support, he can gank, he can provide a lot of early game pressure, he can do a lot of ganks, he can scale very well to the late game with his mana burn. His Vendetta always hits quite hard. The 2.75 AoE second impale never really dies down in effectiveness. And Keep It Light, he's very strong support. I think he's more broken because he's strong at his aspects and just prolongs the game. But he can't really be as versatile as the Nyx, so Keep It Light is going to be picked up second, and Magnus is going to be snatched up as well by Navi. Now, Dendy's been taking some minor heat because his Magnus has not been too impressive, but I expect Dendy to bounce back on his Magnus performances because he's probably going to need them, because Magnus is going to be a stable pick and a stable hero for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. So Dendy, you're going to have to work on that Magnus, and what better way to do that than use it against Kaipi, who is definitely a good team now with Envy on their squad. And they were probably a good team before Envy joined them, but now, after being Team Liquid, they're definitely a threat in this group. Kaipi going to pick up the Queen of Pain, so they think that they are going to ban out. Well, here's the logic behind the Queen of Pain pick. They're going to put Nyx Assassin as support, as Launcher is going to be snatched up as well. But Kaipi going to put Queen of Pain mid, Nyx Assassin supporting the Lifestealer, and they think Queen of Pain, as long as you ban out other mid lane heroes like the Puck or like the, I don't know, the Darkseer, Navi really can't contest us. So that's the logic behind the Queen of Pain pickup so early on. But Queen of Pain is interesting because I don't think she's really been winning nearly as much. She's a very momentum-based hero. She thrives on keeping down supports and the sort of squishy utility heroes as long as possible. Once they get the items, Queen of Pain's burst damage falls off the face of the earth. Meanwhile, Lifestealer, very versatile. And so far, Kaipi has two components that they're trying down pat, and this is usually the stare and pick ban phase that they go through, or that any team goes through. They like to pick up the second support in the second phase and then pick up their last hero with their last choice. Kaipi with the Nyx Assassin could theoretically run an aggressive try, and they'll have two melee heroes, but these two melee heroes have a lot of crowd control. They have a ridiculously good AoE, or good slow, they have a stun. So we'll see if they ban out any strong supporting heroes on the cast of Navi and try to save themselves something like a Shadow Demon or a Leshrac to set up the Lifestealer. If they ban out supports themselves, then they're probably going to go defensive. Meanwhile, they're going to ban out Darkseer, and that's quite odd, because ever since Light of Heaven left, or ever since Navi was ever formed, as long back as I can remember, Light of Heaven has always played Lone Druid, and he's always played it either safe lane or off lane. And since Light of Heaven has left, I'm not too sure how they're going to lane this Lone Druid. They're going to probably put Magnus mid, and they're probably going to put Lone Druid the off lane. But if it's a defensive Chine, Leicester would just eat through that bear for breakfast, especially with the Nyx control and the open wounds. The bear probably won't even be able to get the pulls off before it's going to get bursted down. So Lone Druid got to play very carefully and not be bad offlane hero. So maybe they think they do have their offlane hero in the bag with the Lone Druid. So I'm not too sure just yet how this Lone Druid will be utilized. Magnus most likely will be in the mid lane. Queen of Pain against Magnus is in Queen of Pain's favor if she gets some regen pulled to her. She has better attack animation, she has better damage when she gets a Null Talisman, and she can overall use the runes a bit better. She can gank a bit more effectively. But once Magnus gets a Bottle Crow, he will be able to shockwave spam and get himself back into the lane. So once Magnus hits level 3 or level 4, he might be able to take the lane back into his advantage and perhaps even win the lane. So Queen of Pain gonna have to throw down a lot of early pressure, and that will prompt a lot of Na'Vi rotation of their supports in order to really keep Magnus in the game. But Magnus is probably going to start with the standard 3 GG branches and set tangles and rush that bottle of me on Queen of Pain. Probably going to get a Null Talisman and not rush for the bottle. But Kaipi going to be at the Shouty, and interesting, so this really means that they are going to go for a defensive tri-lane.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's good. I guess they can't really go offensive because they have 2 melee heroes, and a lot of the strong range supports have already been taken out of the pool in the form of Wisp, Rubik, Shadow Demon, and now Visage. So they can't really afford to go aggressive. They have to go defensive. They have no range harassment whatsoever at the moment. And now we're going to about the Leshrac. Makes a lot of sense. So they are anticipating defensive challenge, and they fear the early level tower push. And this might indicate that they're going to get a hero who... They might put Lone Druid in safe lane now and get a hero like Bounty Hunter or Weaver who can really just use the experience to stand up and have the tower stay up as long as possible before the supports start roaming. So I think Navi, they're going to put Lone Druid in safe lane, perhaps choose something like a Bounty Hunter. I think Bounty Hunter really fits Navi's aggressive playstyle with Funnick on the Bounty Hunter. He is quite known for it. And Kaipi going to pick up their last component of their defensive challenge in the form of Bane. And once he supports the dual roam it out, they should be good to go. Leicester will probably be okay in a solo lane by himself. So Kaipi, all they're lacking now is their offlane hero. And who's left in the pool for off lanes? Darkseer is removed, Nature's Power is removed, Clockwork is removed, Bear is on the other side, Barrett is removed. I guess the only offlaner left is Weaver. And Kaipi can't really afford to run an aggressive tri lane because they have no range. And yeah, their mana pools are very, very lacking. Nyx and Lifesteal pretty much are one and done in terms of their spells. Bane is one and done as well. So I think Weaver is pretty much the only choice for the offlane hero on the side of Kaipi. And Navi, they still have their lanes up in the air. They could still run Lone Druid in the offlane, but again, the Bear will just get mauled by Nightmare, the Impale, and the Open Wound, so I don't think they're going to put Bear in the offlane. I think they should run the Bear in the safe lane and just have him farm up, and perhaps get the early tower push going. If there is Weaver, he will have his tower push, and there's really not too much he can do about it. But keep in mind, now they still need their secondary support, they still need their Kuroki support, so I'm not too sure who they're going to pick up. There's still Lion left in the pool, who they've been favored quite heavily recently, but I don't know, Lion strikes as a kind of a weak early game support. And there's the Bounty Hunter pick right there. Lion, the reason why I think he's a bit of a weak early game support, I mean, this game he'd have a Coddle backup, so you could constantly have his mana refilled, but if he doesn't have a Coddle, Hex is such a huge mana cost, and Finger Death is such a long cooldown that when you pick Lion as support, you're pretty much trying to go for the mid-game win, so you can have the max level Hex, as well as not having that ridiculous cooldown on Finger of Death. And Navi's lineup, they could go for the mid-game, but Bounty Hunter means that they want to get onto a fast track in terms of momentum, so... what other aggressive supports? Crystal Main could be a solid choice here. Shen and Enchantress are still left in the pool, so that could be an option. Yeah, I guess Shen and Enchantress would make the most sense here. That's all I'm coming up with. Kaipi, gonna pick up their offlane hero. It's gotta be Weaver. What other choice do you have, Kaipi? Really? Weaver. And there goes the Weaver.
Turn to pick.
Sorry about my voice, everybody. Man. Let me tell you something. Singing for Dota songs is hard work. I mean, you just sit around waiting, and then you just start belting out Aretha Franklin tunes into very, very crappy laptop mic, which doesn't get the best feedback, so you have to re-record and re-record and re-record, and suddenly your voice goes. So I'm a bit under weather, and also I have not gotten that much sleep, which is quite odd because I got normal amounts of sleep every other day, and I didn't take a nap or anything like that, so maybe it was the voice that was making me not able to sleep. I'm not too sure. But hopefully the voice sticks with me today. Come on, vocals. Gotta keep it up. Gotta cast. And Navi, I'm gonna pick up their second support. It's gonna be the Vengeful Spirit, so they're gonna have to get the mid-game tower push going. Once the Vengeful Spirit aura is maxed up, as well as the bear getting his big item, whether it be Radiance or Mjolnir, they can push, and they'll be able to push quite hard. You know, Kaipi, they're gonna rely on Envy and Queen of Pain to really control the pace of the game. Mostly Queen of Pain, and Queen of Pain, again, very much a snowball-based hero. She thrives on picking off squishy support, squishy utility heroes. If she doesn't manage to get that, she'll lose a lot of effectiveness against, especially against heroes like Keeper Light, who goes into Mechanism very easily because he can stack and pull. Lone Druid, who might be able to build himself a pipe. Magnus can build himself a dagger and initiate. They have Bounty Hunter can build into an Orchid. They have Vengeful Spirit for that long-range initiation against Queen of Pain. Keep in mind, Queen of Pain does have an animation on her blink, so Vengeful Spirit, if he manages to get the swap and the stun off, should be able to kill that Queen of Pain. It's going to be very well executed, though. And look at this item build by Dendi, as Lone Druid plays in teams. On the side of Navi, we're going to have Puppy playing the Keeper Light, Havos is playing the Lone Druid, Dendi is playing the Magnus, Kuroki is playing the Vengeful Spirit, and Phonic is playing the Bounty Hunter. Meanwhile, on the side of Kaipi, we're going to have Zizo playing the Bane, Pilot Eye is playing the Nyx, Kaipi A3012 is playing the Queen of Pain, Bone 7 is playing the Weaver, and Eternal Envy is going to be handling that Lifestealer. But yeah, check out this item build on Dendi. He recognizes the fact that he's going to be beaten by Queen of Pain if he doesn't manage to get that. So now, instead of needing 6 or 7 creeps in order to get that fastball, he only needs 3 or 4, which makes a huge difference because Queen of Pain, once she gets level 2, she'll be able to blink harass and be able to be much more aggressive. So the fact that Dendi was pulled in some regen is very nicely done on the side of Navi's part. And Queen of Pain looks like she was pulled Tango and some Salves. This is 580. Yeah, Tango and Salves. So they really want to have him win this lane. And Phonic got boots of speed, so he was pulled some as well. So the supports on Navi are going to be ridiculously poor. And no sentries will be in lane to drive back the Weaver. And Phonic going to get his pull going. And you can see with the boots of speed, Phonic is just Speedy Gonzalez on this racetrack. He cannot be stopped. Nyx Assassin with a shorter path still cannot catch up. He might not even be able to pop that double damage hit. He's going to scale Mana Burn out one. Interesting. And Phonic will be able to get the pull going, but here comes his Zoe, going to try to cast a Nightmare, but Bane's casting animation just a bit too crappy. You can see Phonic turning back to try to redirect the key, or try to regain the key creep aggro, but some nice blocks means at least 2 of the creeps are safe. But Phonic's job has been completed successfully. You can see Envy pulling the creeps all the way back to the tower. But that means his creep wave is going to be huge, and this creep wave will fall in a matter of instants, no matter how well Envy creep controls. And the fact that the supports are being used to drive away Phonic does mean that this pull will not be able to do that much. So this creep wave, it's going to get pushed, especially under the tower and with this massive creep wave, and Phonic will be able to hit level 2 quite soon. As we're going to see Bane roam to the middle lane and try to put some pressure on Dendi, but Dendi already has a ball shipped up to him, so he's going to be all fine and dandy. Meanwhile, Weaver playing very passively. Weaver is an interesting hero in the offlane because he can sort of move around a bit more. He's not like a Bounty Hunter where if you get a Sentry Ward you just die. But Weaver is different from a Bounty Hunter in the fact that his invisibility is only 4 seconds long, so if there's no Sentry Wards in place, he can't just camp his ass on the bottom lane and just sit there to sap up experience. But he doesn't know that Navi doesn't have Sentry Wards. I think he probably knows that Dendi and Phonic were pulled a lot of regen, as Dendi makes a smiley face. I guess, oh, the courier was just able to escape from the wrath of Zizo. And that flying courier is upgraded as soon as possible from those pulls on the side of Puppy. But now Dendi will be able to get his ball curl going, and Queen of Pain's going to have a difficult time because Dendi's level 3. The Shockwave hurts for a significant amount of damage, 150, which is quite a bit to Queen of Pain's low HP pool. But you can see Queen of Pain already has a slight last hit advantage, so she's doing just fine. And Phonic looks like he's going to do another pull to try to get some more experience on his end. Now that the supports have rotated around and starting to do pulls, the creepy element is being maintained by Eternal Envy. But yeah, Weaver, since he does not know for sure that now he doesn't have Sentry Wards, can't really reveal himself in lane. And he did not really, I think in this sort of situation, people like Demon or Phonic, or I guess Bone 7 too, if he had prior knowledge, would just try to tangle himself into the trees and try to leech experience that way. Unfortunately for him, he has 0 experience, and he is going to be a long way from getting that, as Phonic gonna run by the Queen of Pain, as Queen of Pain was there to redirect the creep aggro. Nicely done. So the creeps will be maintained in the lane, but unfortunately for Envy, he has two range creeps which do more damage to the melee creeps than melee creeps to each other. So those range creeps will naturally push the wave until Envy does get the creep control. So Funnick will be up to level 3 relatively soon, I imagine. Most having an absolute blast on this bottom lane, free farming up, saying, why can't all my lanes be like this? Just get total unencumbered free farm. Maybe not, because Vost is a very aggressive carry player. And Kuroki just going to drive away Bone 7, again, baiting out the stun, and once that stun goes through with the additional couple attacks that Venture Spirit gets in those 1.45 seconds, there goes essentially 1/3 of Weaver's HP pool, so he can't even afford to keep himself... he can't even afford to trade hits against Kuroki, which is what you want to do sometimes in the offlane situation. And now Bone 7 just going to be relegated to camping the runes, or delegated to camping the runes, really unfortunate. And Funnick going to camp the rune on the top lane. Zizo is going to camp it. Weaver is going to pick up the haste rune. And Bone 7, what can he do with level 1? Not really do too much. And Funnick, what is he doing? I think he's thinking about rotating mid. Dendy, do you have RP up? No, so I don't think they can get a kill on Queen of Pain for a bit. But Queen of Pain is out of bottle juice, so she does have to get that regen going, but here comes the courier. Right on cue. So far, the first 8 minutes of this game will probably be very passive until Queen of Pain starts to roam. Keep in mind, Magnus wants to sit in lane, farm his AKK and boots and get as fat as possible. And we're going to see a Roman by Funnick, trying to catch off the courier. Courier, it's flying, so it has a lot of armor. But Funnick is actually going to rotate in, and Queen of Pain, low HP. Funnick is going to reveal himself with a bit of delayed reactions. A Panic Blink, level 1 Blink, not the strongest. And Dendy with the Shockwave just on the tip. Nice place in the Shockwave, even with the boost of speed, was enough to drive away and kill off the Queen of Pain. On the bottom lane, on the other hand, the Sentry was placed in Bone 7, will escape just on a sliver of HP. Kuroki, will he die to this counter teleport? He's going to spy Funnick, who is revealed on the Sentry Ward, and Funnick is going to die. Bone 7 happily picking up level 2 from that exchange, but Navi pushing with the Siege Flanagan, going to pick up the first tower of the game. So far for Navi, they got the first button, got the first tower kill of the game. It's going pretty okay for them. I don't think they mind too much that they did lose Funnick in that exchange. They got the mid solo, and Paladai is going to get entangled and taken for a ride. You can look at the Spirit Bear, and the Illuminate flies in, able to clean off the Nyx Assassin. Unfortunate entangle, but this Orb of Venom, in conjunction with the bootsless Nyx Assassin, would have meant his eventual death regardless.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, how will Kaipi respond to this counter push, as we're going to see a pause come into play. Tactical pause may be called by some, but there's no action that's going to happen at this moment. And this game happened before the whole tactical pause drama happened. And you know what? I don't honestly care. There's something that needs to be done about pauses, as Denny picks up another kill on Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain, what are you doing, my friend? You're level 5 and Denny's level 7. And Yuri's Arcane Boots is only about 1,500 gold away from finishing his Blink Dagger, so the mid lane and the bottom lanes are being lost quite hard. And Funnick gonna pick up level 6 very soon, because the supports are gonna have to rotate, and Nyx can't keep Bounty Hunter back in the lane by himself unless he gets Sentry Wards. So the bottom tower is gonna fall, not gonna be contested by Kaipi. They're not gonna rotate their supports, gonna be more focused on driving Funnick back, as Kuroki looking for an opening to get a stun. Unfortunately, Kaipi will retreat, but in the meanwhile, they did lose 2 towers and gave up 2 kills on the Queen of Pain. Not too sure what Queen of Pain's thinking, as A3012 played a solid hero in the last game. I can't honestly remember what he played, but he played it solid. What more can I say? But so far in the mid lane, he's getting handled by Denny, who has, I guess he used RP for that kill. Yeah, he did use RP. More than worth it, though, in the early stages of the game where you're not looking for big team fights, just in terms of shutting down your other opposing lane mid-farmer. That is going to be incredibly crucial. So the onus is on Envy to help carry his team back in the game, because I don't anticipate Queen of Pain having that big of an impact by the time Sonic Wave comes online, which it just is. Venture Spirit already, well, level 3 she can picked off in one combination. Puppy, level 4, but he has a boost of speed. So the supports are still squishy enough that they can actually escape. And Most gonna find himself in the wrong neighborhood, boy, as he's gonna get stunned in place. Mana Burn as well, but the entangle by the Sphere Bear, too good. And Havost able to escape even without the entangle. I think he would have been okay because Queen of Pain already used her blink. And they just underestimated the damage they can pump out. Nyx Assassin, I think this is level 2 stun. But even then, it does not do that much damage, 140 damage. And they popped a bunch of nukes, but unfortunately Queen of Pain not yet level 7 to get that max level of the Scream of Pain. If they had that, they might have been able to get the kill. Dendy gonna charge forward, skewering, gonna get another RP. Every time RP's up, there goes another kill for Dendy, and he's gonna be more than happy to pick that up. And he is only 450 gold, well, 550 gold from that dagger. This has got to be scary, and that means Envy. Once the dagger's up on Magnus, he's gonna have to fear for his life. If he has one other person coming in for him, at this point in the game, Leicester is not that tanky, only 929 HP, and he actually went back into the Midas rather than going for Drums build. He's going a bit more late game oriented, recognizing that his team so far is losing the mid game quite handily. And A3012, what are you doing, my friend?
There was a price on your head.
Just really weird reactions. I guess he's lagging because he got tracked, he got illuminated, and then he turned around and then he got hit and shuriken by the bounty hunter before he could even blink away. 4 of those things should not happen while you have a blink hero, even with a turning blink hero like Queen of Pain. So Envy is gonna have to go to the late game, and fortunately for the side of Kaipi, Leicester does match up against these late game heroes quite well. But if bounty hunter picks up something like a fast Orchid, Dendy gonna have that dagger online very soon. They will be able to start ganking Envy, and Envy gonna have to fear for his life unless they provide him with some backup support. Meanwhile, Bone 7, only with the Ring of Aquila, they really need to rely on this Weaver to get himself back in the game. But Paladai, before he can turn around and cast anything, he's gonna get bursted down. Illuminate's gonna find Envy. Already alive, his PG has been drained, and there is no stun in place. Bane just too slow once they kill out the Nyx. And a nice teleport out by Dendy. Meanwhile, Envy gonna have to bend his farm for what? For nothing, as he just wasted 135 gold. And the next time he teleports in, or the next time he can teleport in, is another 60 seconds, where again he might waste some farm. And meanwhile, Funnick and the Bear are on the pursuit. Boone 7 does not boost speed. He's gonna get bursted down, but a nice rotation by Paladai will get them pale and slow down the assault. We'll end up forcing Funnick back to the base because he's out of mana. Actually, never mind. They have Coddle. What am I saying? You have Keeper Light. You don't need mana. You don't need Arcane Boots or anything like that. You have Coddle. Keep in mind that this game is played before the patch, the tournament patch that happened. So, Coddle is still as powerful as he is, and even after the nerf, I think he's still quite powerful. But that's beside the point. He's in the game, and gotta deal with them. But meanwhile, Paladai, level 5, unfortunately, not that close to level 6. Bone 7, level 3. The levels must be a huge discrepancy in favor of Navi. Vengeful Spirit not that high leveled, as Funnick is going to rotate in. They got a track, and the Bear is going to be summoned, but they are not going to dive NA all the way to the fountain. Bone 7 going to take a bit of harassment from the Bear, who is still in range. And you can see these 2 heroes on Navi just keeping the 2 heroes on the side, the Bug Brothers on the side of Kaipi consistently back. Meanwhile, Dendy, Blanket, Skewer RP, able to clean out Queen of Pain once again. And this is going to be a game where Queen of Pain won't get anything done. Supports are going to get too much tanks. They're getting already a lot of levels. You can see Queen of Pain is the same level as support Keeper Light. And at this point, Keeper Light will be well on his way towards the mechanism, so he'll be able to sell a lot of the burst damage. And only now Envy is going to try to take down this tower with the help of Zizo. Lifestealer is really does like that stag farming and wants to keep the creepy going close so he can use his Midas as much as possible to get those big neutral creeps. Unfortunately, that's going to mean a very late tier 1, and that means they might not be in position to defend this tier 1 in the middle lane. Kuroki does not yet have the swap, has Phase Boots to give him some additional mobility. Interesting. Maybe he's experimenting with the Tranquilist builds now that Tranquils are going to be nerfed, or maybe he just really likes move speed on bench, as she does pump out for his support 96 damage per auto attack with that one of Vengeance aura, and that is quite significant. Bone 7 trying to get this farm going. He knows that Envy probably won't be able to do it all by himself. Unfortunately, he's going to be a long way from having any sorts of impact, no boots, anything like that. And that means once his Kikuchi's down, as long as Bounty Hunter can chase, he will be food for the Bounty Hunter with the phase boots as well as the drums and the track. Bounty Hunter can keep up with the Weaver and Shikuchi and then wait for that Shikuchi to time out and just go to work. Drum's going to be popped, as well as the Buckler. And they're going to clean up this tower without any sort of hesitation. They're going to go in for the tier 2. The question is, can Kaipi actually defend? They need Envy for this. But I don't know if, even if they have Envy, if they can do anything, because here comes Denny with the Blinken, gonna get another skewer, not gonna use the RP on Zizzo. Zizzo is just gonna die on the onslaught of the battle. I did not see a track. We're gonna see a track and down Paladin with a nice 3-man impale, beautiful stun, but unfortunately it's defensive. They can't really make too much happen from this, and Denny's gonna pick up a track kill. Queen of Pain forced to retreat. Envy, what is he doing? He can't do anything. His support's just too out of position and just too underleveled that he can't really open up, and meanwhile Envy's gonna get spied out by Funnick. Envy should just back that guy there with the phase boots. Oh man, he's juking. He think he knows that Funnick's on him. There comes the track. Saying, guys, bounty hunter. But he does still have a tier 1 on the top lane. Funnick not gonna dive, or is he? Just gonna get one last parting track. And that's another 30 seconds where Envy is exposed to the world. But Zizzo gonna spy Puppey. He just managed to hit level 6. They are gonna kill off Puppey, but he did manage to get the recall onto Kuroki. He's gonna break the Fiend's Grip, but here comes Weaver. We'll be able to clean up the Puppey as Magnus, with a huge RP, does manage to get 2 heroes. Weaver not yet level 6, so can't time lapse it away, but Paladai is gonna end up trading his life for that. Havos taking a lot of edge from Envy, but Envy is unfortunately forced to retreat into the form of a creep. Dendy on the retreat, they have nothing to stun him from this teleport. Recognizing he's out of mana, Dendy just choosing to get the heck out of there. Havos, can he actually escape? No, nice chasing as Envy with those drum charges as well as the Weaver on the pursuit will be able to pick up another kill. And wow, that was just a really smart play. She used the scream animation and she looked at where the scream was going because it's a little bit of a projectile. Keep in mind, Scream of Pain does hit invisible units, and once she saw it probably hit, she just cast it Sonic Wave without a second thought. So really, really smart play by A3012. And maybe not yet redeeming her from the mid-solo fails, but still, nice to see a bit of clever Dota play like that. Envy gonna spy out Puppey. Puppey gonna get a recall going. Who is he summoning? Nobody, because his ultimate wore off. No, he's summoned a Vost. Maybe they want to get a tower push going. Envy is completely out of mana, and Dendy will have the RP up relatively soon. And Dendy's just been the magic mountain side. Navi already participated in 9 of the kills and just hammered them in lane. Really hammered it to oblivion. They are going to spy Kuroki. Kuroki will end up forfeiting his life. Not too sure what he was doing in that position. Maybe he was anticipating Navi being a bit closer. Probably was not anticipating the entire Kaipi squad to be there. And I like what Kaipi are doing. They're going to give Weaver some farm. And that huge team fight where Weaver did not die was able to get his levels up significantly. And now you can see he's at least ahead of the supports, which is better than nothing. And he's even with the other offlane hero. So relatively speaking, he's even. But Funnick overall has had a better impact. He's been able to get a lot of track kills. Unfortunately, for Funnick, Bounty Hunter does fall off in comparison to Weaver in the late stages of the game. And the question is for Weaver, what item will he go for? Is this a Lincoln Sphere game? Well, he Lincoln's off. Mana Leak is really, really too annoying to deal with as Weaver, so might have to get Lincolns just for the Mana Leak and the stun and swap. But there are a lot of mechanisms. Yeah, I think he's going to have to go for Lincolns. Meanwhile, the bright spot on the side of Kaipi is that Envy has been able to keep up his farm. Meanwhile, Havost has been in the middle of a lot of engagements. You can see his farm has slowed down drastically. He went for the Maelstrom build rather than the Mjolnir build, recognizing that there's probably not too many heroes inside of Kaipi who's going to get a dagger, so it doesn't like to cancel daggers. And instead can have greater attack speed to get some more roots on the Leicester as well as the Weaver. So roots probably better than the Radiance in this game, so he is going to go for that Mjolnir build rather than the Radiance. Unfortunately, again, like I said, he was not in the middle of too many engagements, or he was in the middle of too many engagements. He did not die, or he died once, but has not been able to keep up with farm, and Envy, who is just always maintaining his farm at a steady level. And Envy, 1-0-1, has not died just yet, and is going for that straight-up Deso to get as much damage as possible. And with the minus armor of the Weaver coming through, as well as the Gemini attacks, those auto attacks will hurt. They're going to go for a tower trade. This tower, not really that important compared to this tower, but still Navi do have their middle tier 1 and this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane to teleport if there are any Roshan shenanigans concocted by the side of Kaipi.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And the question is, if Kaipi can take a team fight, they're facing a level 12 Magnus with level 2 Empower against a level 2 Empowered Bear. This is not something that you probably want to seek into. but Bone 7 is going to get caught by the Magnus once again. Dandy is just merciless, using these RPs whenever it's up just to pick up a solo kill. And they're significant because even though they're only solo kills, at this point in the game, they're shutting down Weaver so he can't get farm, and they're just taking more and more map control off this. So, I mean, if it was sort of the late stages of the game where the heroes are dead for a long time, of course, it would probably be not as important because the heroes would be able to split push and able to get a lot more farm. And you'd be able to say, okay, Mag only RP'd one of us and we can fight. Piladai as well as Envy able to pick up a kill on Puppey, and Piladai is going to end up trading his life in exchange. Was that a track kill? That was the question. Meanwhile, Kuroki is going to get picked off on by 3012, who's starting to make his way back into the game. Havos is on the retreat. Can he escape? Again, no stuns, but Nightmare is in the picture. Fiend's Grip is going to be channeled. Havos probably should have ran a bit further, but it's very difficult to run against the Weaver as well as the Drum Snacks. And meanwhile, Phonic is getting caught. No detection on the side of Kaipi, but that weird scrambling team fight, Navi lost in complete and utter fashion. Utter domination in that team fight by the side of Kaipi. Maybe due to the fact that they saw reverses down and said, alright, let's take the fight. Maybe also due to the fact that Navi's all spread out and they really could not reinforce each other with any sort of spell damage. But Kaipi gonna get some wind breathed back into the sails. As you can see, Navi still have a huge advantage. They have 5 towers compared to Kaipi's 2. But experience graph is dipping back downwards. Keep in mind, mid-game kills do give a lot more experience than early game kills, just because the heroes are in general higher leveled. Unfortunately for the side of Kaipi, they can't make anything happen from this. They can't go for Roshan or anything like that. They just are losing so heavily in terms of map control that it'll be very obvious if this top lane is abandoned and everybody was missing out the map. And now we'd probably be like, huh, I wonder if they're rushing. They probably are. And then Denny would just have a field day. And unfortunately for Kaipi, again, the Creepy Golem was pushed back so far into their own territory they can't get any tower pushes. So they're just got to be content with the experience gains and try to build up to the next time. Phonic getting close to his BKB. Dandy getting close to his next big gun, whether it be Refresher, BKB. I don't know, maybe Hex would be good in this game as well. Hexing Envy when you initiate with that Blink Dire could be a strong option. I think Hex is a solid choice, but BKB is also a very stable option. Only Bane does go through that BKB on the side of the Kaipi squad in terms of spell damage, or spells at all. Kuroki level 7 getting that second point of Vengeance Aura, so she does hurt, but she's still quite squishy. Has a level 1 of swap. Again, Vengeance Spirit does want to hit that level 11 so she can have one of her skills maxed out and have that 900 range of swap at a very low cooldown at that, so she can really abuse that positional power to her advantage. Meanwhile, Vost has died twice, picked up the Vlads, but has only picked up around 10 CS since we've last seen him. So, Navi not really getting the most farm out of these engagements, just instead looking for a lot of engagements. Or, not really getting the most farm from these exchanges, and instead looking for a lot of engagements, which, at this point, they did lose the last one rather decidedly, but now they have the RP back online as well as the regen run. And I think the gold advantage as well as the item advantage should allow Navi to take the next team fight with decent odds. They have the mechanism up. Meanwhile, on the side of Kaipi, they have no such thing. And we were actually going to go for the Yasha into Manta build. Interesting, as I don't think you can Manta the Mana Leak, so I'm not too sure. You can't Manta the track either. Or maybe you can. I don't know the mechanics. But straight up Manta for Weaver. It allows him to do more damage, but he's going to have to sacrifice his survivability in exchange for that. And I guess he figures if he's going to get blinked in RP, what will Lincolns actually do? It won't actually do anything. So that might be his thought process behind it, but still you don't have to question when a Weaver is going for a glass cannon build like this. And keep in mind, he doesn't really actually hurt that much. He's only dishing out 105 damage per hit, which is 210 damage per Gemini attack, but still, that's only being procced every 6 seconds. Queen of Pain gonna go for that Orchid, very standard. If he can get the Blink and Silence on somebody like Dendy, that would pretty much seal the team fight in advantage for Kaipi. And meanwhile, Envy will have that Basher online. Actually went for the Maelstrom rather than the Desolator. So he's going to try to go for a bit more farm as well as AoE damage, but he's going to sorely miss that minus armor as the Kaipi squad going to smoke up, going to try to approach from the backside, and now we do not have any ideas. They don't have sentry wards in place. They're going to try to get the stun, and they're going to grip Dendy. Nice Sonic Wave. Dendi will get cleaned up, and now Navi gonna have to retreat. Havos is gonna try to man fight it out, but unfortunately he is gonna have to retreat as well. The bear just doing so much damage in the background, and I don't know why Kaipi didn't chase. I guess Nyx already used his drum charge, and really, who's the best chaser? Oh, Open Wounds has a relatively short cooldown at this stage in the game. But now Dendi, he bought back and he's back in the fray, and he's looking for some action. He wants some revenge. And now Kaipi can't really surprise Navi with that element of a sneak attack with that smoke of deceit. Envy's tracked up. The bear just gonna go to work. It's gonna pay the price for its insolence, being enfeebled as well as being taken down by the legendary, literally eaten alive. And I wonder if spirit bears are actually very sustaining, because they're spirits, but they're also bears. And imagine bears are quite tasty, but then again, if you eat bears, who are you? I guess you're nothing better than a bear eater. Ouch. Sick burn. Bear eater. Only the sickest of burns here on B-Ball's channel. At the very least, Kaipi managed to get one kill. They couldn't defend their tower, and they got Dendi to buy back. So it could have gone a lot worse for Kaipi. They are going to delay the BKB up on Dendi. It could have also gotten a lot better. I don't know why they really didn't really chase. I guess Weaver was really the only person who could chase without the Fiend script being online. So that might have been it. They might not try to take the engagement up against Funnick, who was giving so much extra move speed. Maybe they just couldn't catch up because there were a lot of tracks being thrown down. And Navi going to take this time to D-ward and get some map control back on their side. They've taken down all the outer towers. And the most only died twice. He has a gem now up on his bear, or on his true form. And again, Havos' farm has slowed down quite severely. Meanwhile, Envy, 160 last hits, really doing quite well. You can see, even without the tower kills, the Midas as well as the creep kills, keeping up ahead of the GPM tabs. So, nice farm by Envy. Bone 7 will have that Yasha finished if he chooses to do so. I'm not too sure why he hasn't bought it right now. Maybe he's saving for buyback. But at this point, level 1 Weaver does respawn in about 30-35 seconds, so it's not really the biggest important if he doesn't have buyback at this stage, I don't think. 3012, still quite a ways away from that Orchid, unless she has it on the courier. Nope, just some sentries, so still about 1300 gold away from finishing that Orchid. So she's gonna have a difficult time finding farm against the Navi lineup, who's right now just 5-manning it up. Maybe this is a sign of the Navi team chemistry not being at the strongest with the new additions of Funnick as well as Kuroki. Maybe the communication's not as lacking, but they don't really seem to have a game plan at this stage in the game. Or maybe they do. They're gonna go in, they're gonna smoke up, they're gonna try to take down Roshan, and there's no wards up inside of Kaipi to spot out this movement. So they very well might take this Roshan for free, so scratch that. Navi obviously know a lot better than what I do. I mean, who better who can... Let me rephrase that. Navi understands their team better than I can at this moment, so why question their decisions at a certain point in the game? And they got the smoke and they got the Aegis for free, and now they can push in as Havost will be close to that Mjolnir. He has to finish the Hyperstone. That's going to allow him to get more entangles as well as dishing out a significant chunk of damage on that tier 3 tower. And with the Aegis up, you can't really force... You are sort of forced to focus the other players on the side of Navi, but the thing about Venge is that she's very suicidal. She swaps herself in, and in exchange for perhaps getting an early kill on one of the opposing teams, Magnus will stay back for the dagger, and the BKB can afford to do that. And the only thing that goes to BKB on the side of Kaipi is going to be that Fiend script. Cupid Light always stays back. So it's just a very awkward position for Kaipi. They sort of have to focus the bear, but he has the Aegis, so what do you actually do? I guess maybe you can burst on the bear, but if you group up and kill down the bear in the choke point, then that's going to be such an easy RP for Dendi. So right now, they're just going to wait. They're going to wait for the Aegis to time out and try to get some more farm going. Bone 7 still not revealing what he's getting. I guess he's finished the treads? No, he's had the treads for a while. Maybe he's just not farming well. 67 CS. Not the best farm. And Queen of Pain. Ooh, getting closer to that Orkin. Have it up in 500 gold, but Navi push. The Navi push is incoming, so they can't silence Stendi. And if they can, he has BKB. Danyana got the BKB as well. What were Navi actually waiting for? I guess they were waiting for the Mjolnir fished on the bear. As no, they didn't even get it shipped towards them. I imagine it's being shipped on the Weasel Crow. It's just going to be a smoke to see. And now you're just taking their time, trying to apply the chokehold on the side of Kaipi and getting the D-wards going. Kaipi really have no vision on the map whatsoever. And they're just going to send the Empowered Baron and go to work on that tower. They're going to have to force out a glyph without ever exposing themselves to any sorts of risk. And now the creep wave's coming back in, and now they can go to work once again. And this tower will end up dying. Paladin looking for initiation, but there's a gem. And he is going to die in the blink of an eye. Bone 7's going to teleport in, but Dendi was there. Going to ban out the RP, but does not use it on just Weir. Meanwhile, Envy and the Queen of Pain going to suck around, but Dendi with the RP does manage to catch 3012. And where is Envy? Envy? He is dead. He got killed. And Bone 7 buys back. And he's going to die just as fast. Or he didn't buy back, he just didn't die. But now he's going to buy back. And now it's Queen of Pain without the ultimate against the full frontal force of Navi. And they're going to have the mechanism cooling down relatively rapid, but they don't really have a choice. They're forced to fight right now. Puppy's going to take a lot of edge. Puppy is going to get picked off, and Avos is going to get chain stun. If they can manage to kill off Avos like Aegis, Navi might very well get themselves back in the game. Funnick throwing down so much damage with the track, and the gem is still up, but they're catching out Weaver. Weaver is going to die. No buyback. Den is going to be caught up, but he's going to skewer ahead. We'll pick off the Queen of Pain as well as get Envy away from Avos. Now he's going to turn back around, but he's going to be tracked up. Envy, can he actually escape from this terrible, terrible situation? He will, but all the while the Rexes are fully exposed, and Envy cannot do the solo defense. You just can't. There's too many mechanisms in place, whether it be the bear or the track or the RP, which will be up in about 30 seconds. And Navi going to go for 2. They know that Kaipi were using all of their buybacks in the last engagement. They know that when these heroes are dead, they're dead until the timer says that they aren't. So they're going to clean up 2 barracks very, very easily. And Funnick probably got a lot of track kills. Keep in mind, for some reason, track, if you don't do any damage, it doesn't actually ignite your assist, as Envy's going to initiate onto Funnick and immediately force a turn back around. But you can see how much gold Funnick and Navos are floating. Dendi floating an incredible amount of gold as well. Is only the support to die in that engagement on the side of Navi. Meanwhile, the other 3 main DPS heroes were just able to roam rampant. And Bone 7 again. I don't know. He's just not having the best of games. As to be fair, there's really not too much he could have done if he stayed back. So May just felt like there was no other option. Says Envy just gonna infest the Queen of Pain. And this looks to be curtains for Kaipi in this game. And Kaipi, they need to win the game against Absolute Legends in a speedy fashion, because I think they're behind the tiebreaker. So a lot of pressure is going on Kaipi, because Absolute Legends beat Navi and Kaipi lost to Navi. So overall in the grand scheme of things, Absolute Legends do have the tiebreaker over Navi, so that's going to give him better seeds. So unless Kaipi beats him in a relatively speedy fashion, Absolute Legends and Navi are going to be teams that move on. Of course, if Navi loses, then Kaipi will move on regardless. Actually, no, it doesn't, because all the teams will be 1 and 2, and Navi or Absolute Legends will be 3 and 0. But anyway, Navi, if they want to control their own destinies, they have to win their next game. It's a matter of importance. They really need to win the next game against Team Liquid. If they do that, they guarantee themselves a spot in the LAN finals in Poland and at least $2,000, which is definitely no small sum of money. So, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with the last game, or one of the last games from the finals very, very soon, or from the group stages very, very soon. And keep up the sports. Peace.